Hello and welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. This time we're at Laguna Seca International Raceway in Formula Ford, the FF1600. This is going to be another wonderful week of racing, as we already know. If you are new to my channel, we do a hot lap, a breakdown lap, and then back in the cockpit, a final time, the driving line on. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Let's get this underway. So obviously, just before I start, to let you know, this is the fixed setup, and this is on my 12th lap, so this would be roughly the end of a race. So over on the left-hand side, getting over to the right-hand side, long trail off here, all the way down to first gear, trying to cut the corner. We're up to third here, and then a quick dab of the brakes, down to second because we've got the tall gearing from the fixed setup. Just a lift around here, trying to get on the gas as early as possible. Exiting wide, not going on the sand. Right, the all-important turn 5. Most important turn on the circuit. And we're going to brake, drop it down to second, and we're getting on the gas so early, well ahead of the apex. Letting the camber just control the car. Leave it in third, little dab of the brakes, on the gas nice and early again. It's very much all about momentum around here. Right, we're going to get on the brakes early here. All the way down to first gear, on the gas. Cutting this corner here, little lift. Back over to the left-hand side, little dab of the brakes, leave it in third, on the gas still. And now to the final corner where you can mess it all up. As I did quite a few times. On the gas, exit wide. And there we have it, a lap around Laguna Seca in 1:29.896. Right, breakdown lap coming up. Righty hell, let's try and fly through this as soon as possible, quickly as possible. Right, so we want to get close up to this wall first off. Up to fourth gear. And what we're looking for here is in between the 4 and the 3 marker, just before this white line that's painted on the road. We're going to come off the gas. We're going to brake up to about 80%. We're going to try and wipe all that speed off in the straight line, dropping it to third to second as we start to turn in towards this first apex here, around turn 2, the Andretti hairpin here. We're going to trail it off. And I'm still keeping some brake on, just to keep the balance, dropping it down to first gear. Now I'm getting back on the gas, and I'm on full gas nice and early ahead of the second apex of the Andretti hairpin. Just getting real close to this no-cut curbing. Go through the gears up to third. And then what we're going to do between the 2 and the 1 marker here, we're going to do a little dab on the brakes. Only up to about 40% and only very briefly. Trail it off, drop it down to second, and we want to get back on the gas so that as we come away from that apex, we can get up to 100%. Exit nice and wide, up to third gear. Between the 2 and the 1 marker, we're going to start doing a lift here. So almost down to nothing, just down to sort of 10-15%, and then build back up. So we're getting on to full gas. Again, exit nice and wide, up to fourth gear. So this is the tricky turn 5 that everyone gets wrong in the race. So between the 3 and the 2 marker, they've helpfully painted a nice white line on the road here. That's where we're going to brake up to about up to 90%. Wow, I didn't even know it was that much. And then you trail it off, dropping it down to third to second. And now look, I'm back on 100% gas, well ahead of the apex. So I'm using this camber, I'm using the fact that my car is compressing into the uphill so that it's got loads and loads of grip, and I want to get on the gas really early. Why is it important that we get on early? Because we're about to go up a massive hill, and this is where people are so slow on the gas usually. And if you're doing a run through from the back of the grid or anything like that, you can make up so many places and so much time here. So leave it in third, and then just as we get to the 2 marker, I'll do a little dab of the brakes, only up to about 30%, and then I'm going to start building back up on the gas. I'm holding it around 30%, making sure that I miss that curbing on the left-hand side, the red curbing, and then I'm building back up to 100%. Exit nice and wide. Right, the braking marker is basically a couple of car lengths before the 3 marker on the right-hand side here. And what we're going to do as we get there is we're going to hold the brakes up at around 60%. Now, as you come up over the top of the crest, if you're braking harder than this or later than this, there's a good chance that you're going to lock up one of your brakes. I'm running a 54% brake bias here. I always throw it to the back. Drop it down to third, drop it down to second, and once you get to the top and your car is no longer trying to float itself or fly into the air, that's when you can go that little bit harder on the brakes. Anyway, trail it off, drop it down to first gear, and now we're looking to try and get on the gas. I was actually quite late on the gas here. It wasn't my best attempt through the corkscrew, but it was my best lap overall. Up to third gear, and now what we're going to do is we're going to start doing a lift, just so I can make it around this corner. I'm going to get right over to the left-hand side and then get back on full gas. And now it's between the 2 and the 1 sign on the left-hand side. Little dab of brakes up to about 40%, and now we're going to start building back up on the gas. Final braking marker between the 2 and the 1 once again, and we're going to brake really quite hard there up to nearly 90, well, nearly full braking. Wiping off all that speed in the straight line, trailing it off. Now, in the Ford, I like to put my left-hand wheel on the inside of this sausage curve. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, or you can't do it repeatedly through an entire race distance, then do take a slightly more conservative small C line through here, but this is the quickest way. And now we get back onto full gas and we exit nice and wide. And there we have it. That's the breakdown lap. We've got the driving line coming up now. 360 to finish. As always, thanks for your support. I've been Sambo iRacing, and I'll see you guys in the week. Cheers.